Hello to everyone.
What?
That's what Georgia says.
Oh.
In like every episode, Georgia's been like, hello to
Hello.
You tend to tune out sometimes during the bulk of the episode, and then you watch the runway.
Yeah. I can't lie.
Hello, I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 14, Episode 13?
Yes.
I think I nailed it. I was like, we're going to have...
Ross Mathews roast.
I was like, we're going to have 16 episodes. We're going to have next week, reunion, and then top four.
Finale, yeah.
The Ross Mathews roast. Okay, I actually had a lot of fun with this episode. You don't love the roasts. You don't like when people are embarrassed.
I don't like when people embarrass themselves, especially if they know it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know they're embarrassing themselves, I can go either way. But like 3 of them knew they embarrassed themselves, and it hurts my feelings.
Okay, so the thing is, the judges are actually usually very generous with their attention. Rue even said, Rue was like, oh, I laughed and it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Like they're very generous, and usually the cringiest parts is the production, like the editing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, if you're watching reality TV is never silent. So it's like if you're watching a reality TV show and all of the air drops out, it's like a lot of that's production stuff. Having said that, you know, these are a mixed bag. We pick up where we left off. Bosco is safe.
Yep.
Everybody, most people were happy. Daya was happy. Georges was not. Georges, I think, is tired.
Georges is super tired. Georges can't have her weed. I just feel like it's so mean.
I think she's sort of. I think she had hit her limit, hit her wall, and so. We find out that they had a mini challenge that was actually really interesting. They brought in some girl, Noxema or something from Anastasia Beverly Hills.
That wasn't
naloxone.
I don't remember what it no, it was like Navita.
Navina.
It's mean. I don't know. Norvina.
Norvina. She is, I guess, the heir to the Anastasia Beverly Hills empire. And they had to paint Rue's face, which I was with Rachel. I just figured they were going to give him like a face chart or something and make him like scribble on it. I thought maybe they could have like a weird bust or something, but it was that mural that I think is in Tennessee. There's a mural of Dolly and Rue. Yeah. And it was the outline, and they were broken into 2 teams. And granted, one team did have 4 members and one team had 3. Yeah. So that gives you an edge, but the Dolly team wiped the floor with the Rue team. And I just love the moments where Rue was like, oh, like I kind of did this to myself, but also how dare you?
Yeah. Like, what were you expecting, RuPaul?
It was entertaining. It was pretty fun. From there, they had to prep their roast, their stand-up material, yada, yada. It is interesting because that I really wouldn't know what to do.
No.
And part of me wants to try it, not on TV.
No. Yeah, no.
But part of me wants to see like what I could come up with if I were forced to actually write a joke.
Ugh.
Because I mean, I don't know. So they did the thing. We had a guest judge. Her name was Dulce Sloan.
Dulce Sloan. I realized what I was like the whole time. She's familiar. Her voice is familiar. The name is familiar. She voices Honeybee on The Great North, which is like one of the teams from Bob's Burgers made another show, and it's so cute and fun, and she voices Honeybee. So I like her.
So her and Michelle did the thing where they sort of listened to the Queen's material. They coached them. They're usually much harsher on them in that segment than they are the actual roast itself,
which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also they were tasked with the team that won was coming up with the order the queens were going to go in. And I feel like this is a rare.
No one was pissed about the order.
Every single person, they pleased everybody, and I don't know that I've ever seen that happen. It was rather remarkable.
Almost always, someone's like, "I don't want to open and set the tone," or "I don't want to close and go after everybody."
Bosco threw herself in that grenade. She knew.
She ended up doing great. So.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. So, I don't have much to say about the actual roast. I wasn't taking notes, and I would need to watch that 1 or 2 more times in order to really...
I'll never watch it again.
You stood up and started doing work.
I started cleaning. I can't handle it. I cannot handle it.
So they really, it wasn't that bad. It's just certain people, like, because George's
is not good at public speaking. It's like every time there's something that Georges has to do off the cuff, the first sentence of words, something is mispronounced or stumbled over every single time.
Well, it's
in a way that then fucks her up for the rest of the thing because she gets so nervous.
It's the thing that we dealt with Utica last season, and you deal with it several times where it's like someone who either was sheltered or maybe just young or just their gifts, their talents lie elsewhere. They don't actually understand what like ribbing is.
Yeah.
There's meant to be an air of fun and frivolity.
Sure.
And Georges, everything was like, your ass stank. Your pussy stinks. Like it was, everything was just really sort of like, and it's like,
those are the ones that are the most comical to me, like as failures, because it's like
it's just, as you're just hurling a very specific insult.
Because it really is just sort of like, you're a fat slut. And it's like, whoa. Like, where do you get off?
But it's because I've noticed she's made like 1 or 2 comments throughout the season, and I'm like, she really goes for it whenever she's trying to do that. And what I think it was Deja Skye. Was Deja Skye the one that made the like pregnancy joke with Ross? Because she said something about like, Ross, it's so great, to see that you lost all the weight and the baby. And I gasped and covered my mouth. And I think Rachel was like,
no, it was Dulce. Oh, one of us? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of them was like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand. And I was like, basically, she was like, you're so fat, you must have been pregnant. And then you miscarried. And I was like, that's not a good joke. There's not.
Because Dulce was the one that was like, people have a lot of deep feelings about losing babies. You shouldn't do that joke at all.
But I find like the exploration, because I've talked about it a lot on our show, but I actually find comedy fascinating.
Yeah.
And I like to study it like a formula or an equation. And there's kind of any art form is going to be complex. But you do sort of get to see, you get to a point where you can break it down like a mathematical equation. Yeah. And that was one where, I don't remember specifically what they said, but it was both Michelle and Dulce offered 1 or 2 pieces of advice where I was like, that's actually very sound.
Well, in that one, they basically were like, you can say, you look so good after losing all the weight. How's the baby? Like, it still didn't land amazingly,
because
it's like at least not like a tragedy.
But furthermore, because in that point it's up to the audience to connect the dots, so it's like you've provided a premise that the audience then fills in the blank.
Yeah.
But it's like,
although they're hitting me again with the untagged mpreg. It's killing me.
But it's the whole, it's like the breakneck journey that they insist on taking the audience on sometimes is rough.
Absolutely.
And but I do enjoy seeing the different performance levels, because like Angeria wasn't all that good, but in true Angeria fashion, she was having a good enough time.
Because I think she's the one that Rue said, I was laughing even though it wasn't funny, because Angeria was selling it enough and she was laughing at her own jokes, which was like enough that it elevated it. And I just think Angeria is so charming. She could just make it work no matter what, which is great.
I also think she definitely got in her head, which Diabetes, she definitely got in her head, which is weird because she did really well in the like walkthrough.
Yep.
And sometimes that's
the kiss of death.
Yeah. If you waste the good take on what is it from Big Daddy?
We wasted the good surprise on you.
But when it got time to it, I guess she just got, well, she said she was nervous, but it was like she was taking the long way around for every single joke. I think they dinged her a little bit more than they should have.
Absolutely dinged her more than they should have. And honest to God, I think the only reason that there was like 3 queens in the bottom is because they couldn't just have 2 and then send them both home. That was like a stunt for sure. Because like we'll get there, but I just was like, this is bullshit.
But as I recall, I think Bosco and Lady Camden. So Lady Camden was actually really good at first.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand
the echoing asshole.
Am
I the only one who thinks Cheryl is hitting the ass stuff a little too hard?
Because they warned her against it in the beginning, and she still did it, and sort of whatever. But then it was like there was like 7 more bits.
It's not that it didn't land. It's just that more than half of her stuff was echoing asshole jokes, and I'm just sort of
she was shouting into Ross's asshole for too long.
You're back on the ass stuff again. Okay.
Which I like. It's sort of funny, but also it again, sort of with the baby joke. I'm sort of like, I don't need to just be actually imagining how loose Ross Mathews' asshole is.
It went to a vulgar place that the rest of her material wasn't there
exactly,
because we're no stranger to vulgar jokes. Vulgar jokes can work.
Yeah, but you have to be vulgar the whole time.
Lady Camden doesn't
yes.
exactly scream.
Well, I mean, that could be the bit, is that she's a vulgar queen, but so far she hasn't been. It's like a vulgar queen named Lady, you know? I get it, but it's also like, you can't have just one vulgar thing. The whole set has to be vulgar, or I don't know, it just didn't, the math didn't.
Because I just overwhelmingly prefer, they're so right, the quicker, the shorter, the sharper, the better, because Michelle was like, Ross is so gay, even his farts have a lisp.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just better.
Yeah.
Getting to the runway, it was too much.
Yeah.
I really like this runway.
I did too.
I have opinions as well.
I do too. Okay. This is great. I think it's great. I love it. I can't necessarily make the complaint that she's just wearing the same thing again, although it is just a fucking corset.
No,
I mean, she's wearing a whole bodysuit, but it's such a good idea, and it's such like a fun concept, and the blood and the saws and everything, it's perfect. It's so fun.
I think I was just so taken aback.
Yeah.
Because, and I remember, she had to remind us, I remember that she had a bit of edge in the beginning of the season, but I feel like we hadn't seen that very consistently.
Well, all those 4 weeks in a row, bra and panties didn't really.
It took me aback a little bit. Yeah. I liked it a lot. I liked, and then once I had a moment to like actually settle in on the details, the bloody tears, the wig, the different saws and stuff, I think it was very, very good.
It's my number 3. Are you gonna just say the thing you said out there? You feel like Georges doesn't know what some clothes are?
I said, so does Georges just not know what clothes are called? Because
this is
anytime we've been given her okay, so this I'll chalk it up to, you can accuse it of just being a personal thing for me, but I wanted proper tutu. Like I wanted, like I would have accepted a ballet look without a tutu than I would have accepted a non-ballet look with a tutu type of thing.
Okay.
So there was a part of it for me that it, like, I guess on a technical level, sure, it counts.
It's like a flouncy skirt. Yeah.
Is that a tutu? Because I would give it to Willow. I don't know. Maybe it's the leather jacket. I don't know. I just didn't love it.
Well, I like the vibe of it.
It feels
like
good.
50s kind of biker vibe of it. But I agree, it's not. A handful of them are not really tutus.
Yeah, like I said, on a technical level, I'll allow it. From a personal place, I was just sort of like, this, Georges, I don't know.
I do love that it's feathers, though.
Like, is that it? Like, is that maybe what? Because maybe if it were tulle.
Well, there's tulle underneath the feathers.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Because I do like this better. I do, and maybe it was just because it's much frothier.
Yeah, I mean, I still would not call this a tutu, but it's cool. And the makeup is insane.
The whole look was just so good. And I loved the makeup was insane. And I loved her reference to like Amanda Lepore and all of that.
And then when she was trying to talk back in Untucked.
And then on top of that,
funny.
she was just saddled with it. But I really liked this, you know, like I said, this one I'll allow them all. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. It's just kind of.
Okay. I actually kind of love this, and I'll give it 2-2 because it expands straight out where it's meant to. And then she's reaching, Your Honor, about the 4 2-2s, but it's fun, and I think honestly the color is the best part of it.
Especially with the wig. I love the color with the platinum blonde.
So fun. And it's a 2-2 like Angeria would wear a 2-2, which makes me like it a lot. I think I like it so much because it's so ugly. Yeah, it's hideous. It's sort of like Willow's J-Lo look.
I loved this.
Fuck off. This is my number 2 of the night. It's amazing.
And because she was giving us like the little bits, like so much of it was like reclaimed or recycled, and we didn't need that.
No, but it's cool,
I guess. Yeah. But part of me was sort of like, you're taking it away. Stop. Like, let it, because it looked elevate. Like, it looked nice to me. And the wig, I love this wig on her. I love how
a lot of them did interesting or good wigs tonight.
I love the ballet. I love how pretty it is. I love how soft it is. I love how feminine it is.
Well, that's the thing too, is like this, I think might be the closest to glam that we're going to get with Diabetti. I love this look. It's pretty. And even her makeup is not as like crazy as we've been getting. And I'm just so.
But I do still love
in those shoes.
The dark.
Yeah.
Still the dark makeup. I love the that it's kind of like a brocade jacket. Like it's like what the ballerina wore to dip outside for a cigarette.
Sure.
Like that's what it gives me. Yeah. And I love a dewdrop crown. Like I loved this. This was what I wanted from a ballet, from a tutu.
Yeah. I liked it quite a lot.
Just the pink satin ribbons. It's so. Now, I actually think that she looks great. I think that.
Well, the fit is
better.
No, the fit is terrible on top. It's bad. They commented on it. The fit on top is really bad.
Yeah.
I don't hate the wig. I don't hate the color. But the colors look good together. But also, it's not a tutu. It's a 50s cocktail dress. I mean, it kind of has like a little peplum, but
yeah, I think I was just trying to not be a hater, and
I'm not a hater. I just don't think
it's the pink and the blue that's my favorite part.
Exactly.
It's those two colors together, and
okay. Number 1, fuck off. It's unreal.
This is gorgeous. This is so beautiful. Like, Brooklyn Heights didn't even do this.
Brooklyn Heights didn't. She could, but she didn't.
The detail.
Yeah. If Lady Camden is not in the finale so I can see her in like 3+ gowns, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Because I think, and maybe it's her ballet background. She comes from ballet, but there is a slight crafty quality to a lot of her drag. That's been one of the criticisms. I don't get that here.
Not at all.
Rich.
Yeah.
You can see every line, every bead, every sparkle. The color.
She feels expensive.
The color. Because it's very difficult to pull off and actually.
That blush color.
Well, when you're all one color, when hair, skin, clothes, like everything is one color, and it doesn't wash her out. Like it doesn't.
And the applique going down the arms, it's stunning.
Oh, yeah. I love this. So
the only thing is, I wish that she went on point down the runway, but I know it's tough. And I guess I discovered recently men don't go on point.
They not frequently. They can train in it. But not typically.
Not like in productions.
Not typically. It does happen, I mean, sometimes, but.
This is my number 1. Amazing. Exactly. I mean, you could call it like basic for just being a ballerina, but I mean, if you're gonna be a like, basic ballerina, do it like this.
It's the most. It's in its purest form, like its most distilled. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Oh, was that it? That was it. Shit.
Yeah.
I thought there was another. Yeah.
Nope, that's it.
So I mean, I hate to be basic, but it was. It was Daya and Lady Camden for me, so the two blush colored tutus, but
I mean they worked. And then like I said, Bosco was a very close third. If I'm doing anything, I'm tying Daya and Camden.
I liked Daya, but let's I was like, it's not a tie, it's second.
Yeah, for me.
So they pretended for some reason
have a triple lip sync
that Daya was in the bottom. You must be right. It must be just so they didn't send
both
two people home.
Yeah.
But even that, it was like, I thought, well, yeah, she did sort of, because I was going to say, I mean, I thought that she did better than Angie, but no, I think Angie's performance in the roast was better than Daya's. So.
Yeah.
So no, it was all good. And actually in a twist, I thought that Deja was giving the best lip sync, but I was totally fine with.
Well, because in my opinion, Georges and Deja have been running on empty for weeks now, so it's like it's a little, in my opinion, overdue that the two of them go home.
They were very, very gracious
about it. I think it might be better not going home by yourself, like having someone else to go home with you, but.
This is my moment. We had a phone call. Untucked was very, very sentimental. Yep. Deja saw the writing was on the sky.
Yeah.
We had a phone call from Willow's family. It completely took Willow out at the knees.
Yeah.
Just whoomp.
And Angie was like, are you laughing or crying? And Bosco was like, both.
So, yeah, all in all, I mean, it was, I had fun. I actually thought it was a pretty good episode. And
I blacked out and I can't remember a thing.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad.
But so next week is going to be the kind of music video that they typically do. We got 5. And I think they did say 4. I think we have heard production say top 4.
Okay.
So, I would say as of now, it's for me, it's Lady Camden.
I agree.
Have you abandoned Willow?
Willow was never like my 100%. I like her. Well, like at the very beginning, but she hasn't been for a while. I like Willow a lot. I think she should be in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
It should be Willow, Camden, Daya, and then I don't care about the 4th. Either I could go either way with Bosco or Angeria. But yeah, no, I think. But the thing is like I think Camden has a better shot of winning.
I like what Camden's serving.
Yeah.
I like her sense of humor. I like her personality. And I think because as much as people like to pretend this isn't a factor, I think it is where someone is in their life, in their journey, in their career, all of that. And I think Lady Camden, and also, frankly, when you consider the dais that she'll, the position she'll be taking as the queen, the drag race, I think this could be her moment.
Sure.
But we'll have to see, because I also think that could go for Willow, but
she's still super young too.
There's something. So okay, well, that was our conversation about this episode of Drag Race, and hopefully you had fun, and hopefully we will see you later. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. The thumbs up does the best, and comment and patron and all the rest. So